Welcome back to my channel. Brands of Chloé is all things personal finance, travel, and lifestyle vlogs. Today's video is an update on my move to Dallas. It's been 4 months since I moved to Dallas, and I constantly get questions about why I moved here, what things are going on here, and just a whole bunch of questions. So I'm really glad I get to film this video for you guys and give you an update. I also asked in the YouTube community tab and in my Instagram stories for you guys to drop some questions for me to answer in this video. So I'll be answering those questions in this video as well. So the format of this video will be pros and cons, I guess, of like my initial feelings so far being in Dallas and my experience here, and then at the end I will do the Q&A part. So let's just start with it. Do I even like Dallas? Like, what is my feelings on moving here? Honestly, I'm really enjoying myself so far. It's been a great experience, very, very different from New York. It definitely doesn't feel like I've been here for 4 months. It feels like 2.5 months that I've been here, not 4. Pros that come to my mind right now for Dallas, and just in general too. So this is like my first time having my own apartment, so I'm happy about that. The weather, there's definitely a lot to do, and I feel like I keep making lists of different things, but I don't want to jam pack everything all together because there honestly is a lot to do. So I do know that over time I'm gonna be exploring more things, getting to know the city more, getting to know like the outskirts of Dallas more, because I honestly haven't really been too far out. I went to McKinney once, I went to Irving when I got my hair braided, that was in Irving. I've been to Plano a couple of times. There's just so many surrounding areas and other parts of Dallas that I haven't even been to, and they have a lot of stuff as well. So there's definitely plenty things to do. Some cons, okay, I have to say the food so far. I've had some like good food at some places, like really, really good food, but there's also been like plenty of times if I had food, it was just like okay or just not that great. Also, like, don't get me wrong, I love tacos, and I knew there would be a lot of tacos here, but I feel like everything is like taco, and I kind of just need a break sometimes. So yeah, I feel like there isn't much variety in the food choices. So I went home last month, and when I was home I made sure I got Haitian food and I got bagels. Those are just like, you know, some New York staples for me. I did try pizza out here in Dallas, and I was very nervous, but that was actually really good. I'll like put it over here on the screen, but that was a good experience trying pizza here. The food scene is drastically different from what I'm used to, but I'm making it work. I still have so many places that I can check out. I'm really hoping to find better food options. People say like the traffic is really bad, but I feel like I haven't had a bad issues with traffic yet, but I am home for probably like the rush hour traffic times anyway, so the traffic I might hit on the weekend probably isn't compared to weekday rush hour traffic. But to me so far, it seems pretty easy to get around everywhere. The highways here are crazy. Like, the speed limit is like 70, 75. It's like really weird. Like, you'll be driving and then all of a sudden like there's like a million lanes merging into one. And I'm sorry, but Texas drivers are not the best at merging, I've noticed so far. Like, anytime I see an accident, it's usually like by an entrance or an exit ramp. So that's my spiel on the driving part. But yeah, I think it's easy to get around, so that's like really great. I personally don't hit too much traffic in Dallas. Oh, a big con. Okay, brunch. When I was moving here, like, I knew Dallas had brunch. I knew Dallas had like a Sunday fun day kind of thing. But I've noticed that a lot of places don't even have bottomless mimosas for brunch. And is it really brunch if you don't have a bottomless mimosa option? I think I've seen like one place that does the crafts that you can buy for the table, but where is the unlimited option? But that's one thing I've noticed. Also, just the brunch options. I feel like here it's either like a day party type of brunch or like very, very, very low key and no vibe to it. And I feel like they don't have a lot of, so far that I've experienced, they don't have a lot of like in between places. Like, sometimes I really just want like really great brunch food, and I don't need a whole party turn up, but I want a good vibe. Like, I want to go into brunch and have some good music, good vibes, great food. And I feel like I haven't come across many like places like that. It's either like super, super calm and it's just like people with their families sitting and eating food during brunch hours, or it's like a whole day party. So if people from Dallas are watching this and you have suggestions for that like in between sweet spot of a brunch place, I would love to know that. Another huge con for me is the lack of West Indian, Caribbean foods, culture, all of it. It ain't here. Like it, and I knew this coming here, but it's definitely a big culture shock, I guess. A big con, which I didn't realize when I was coming here, because when I was doing my research, I saw that DFW airport, which is the international airport of Dallas, I was reading that it's like one of the biggest airports in the country and heavy traffic every year. It's like a top airport. And what I'm realizing now is there are not great flight deals like there were in New York. And I knew New York and JFK had great deals to go all over the world, but it is not the same here in Dallas with DFW Airport, or even the other one is called Love Field, but it's like super small. I'm not finding good deals at all from out here. It's like really bad. And the airlines I look for flights on, there's like JetBlue, Delta, and American Airlines. To go to an international destination from here, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to have a layover. Layovers are just such a drag. I don't know, like I'm not accustomed to doing like layovers like that. And like I usually just try to fly direct, and it's like every single flight, even domestic flights, like there's a lot of domestic routes and there's a layover. And I'm just like, why am I having a layover just to go over some like 3-4 hours and you have a layover? It's insane. And honestly, I think the other day I was like looking up flights for something, and for me to go from Dallas to that destination, it was like almost $1,100, I believe. And then I was looking up the same dates to go from JFK, so New York, to that destination, and it was just under $500. That's a huge difference. I'm like, I might as well fly home and then go, because tickets from Dallas to New York are super cheap. But it just like blew my mind. And like, of course, the Dallas flight had a layover, and then the New York one was like straight away. That's been like really annoying me lately, because like I'm trying to, you know, find some great deals for the year, and it's just not happening from Dallas at all. And I knew when I came here, I was like, oh, maybe I can explore like the West Coast more, because I haven't been to too many West Coast destinations. And even going to the West Coast, there's like places with layovers. There was no layover from all in New York to go there. So why am I laying over from Dallas to wherever? I don't know, like I guess they just don't have routes like that coming out of Dallas to all these places, but that's really been bothering me lately. Not too great for the traveler heart. So next, I just want to talk specifically about my apartment and my location. I'm like super happy about the apartment complex I'm in. I don't know if you guys remember, when I did my apartment hunting video, at the end of that video, I mentioned how the apartment that I picked, I didn't even see in person. Like I did FaceTime tours and everything for it. So I definitely was nervous coming here, but it's been great. I feel like I made a great decision. Like I love my space. It just works for me. I feel like I'm so close to everything, which is like super perfect. Safety wise, I feel like my location is good. So I'm definitely happy about my apartment and my area, all of that. I feel like I've kind of been rambling, so let's really get into the Q&A. I'll first start with the question I got on YouTube in the community tab. I screenshot everything, so I'm reading them off my phone. So the first question from YouTube was, what specifically do you like about Dallas? So I'm going to answer this not in the reason why I picked Dallas, but what I like about it so far. I like that it's a really big city, and that you have both like the city feel, but you could also get around to like, there's a lot of parks around here. There's like trails and walking trails and everything. There's just a lot of activities for me to do and get into. So I like that. Nightlife, daytime, big city vibes. It's easy to find things to do so far. Those are the things that really come to my mind right off the bat. Okay, and now let's get into the Instagram questions. The first question from Instagram was, has the way you budget changed since your last budgeting video now that you have more responsibilities? Great question, and absolutely. I knew my budget was going to change when I was moving, so this is something that I had planned for even before I got to Dallas, to even look for apartments, I had a budget in mind for how much I wanted to spend on rent and utilities and everything for this move. So I had budgeted money to actually move here, as well as all like my startup costs, all the first month's rent, deposits, everything, cost to ship my stuff over, cost to ship my car, cost to furnish my entire apartment, because I didn't come with furniture or anything. So I had all that stuff budgeted before I even came here. And once like that was done, that's when I knew I was ready to move. So that's how I did it. As far as my current like month to month budget, I would say the biggest differences right now in my budget compared to how it was when I was home is my rent, and then the fact that I'm saving less now because of rent. Obviously, like when I was home, I was like really saving a lot of money. So now that's cut back because I have rent. So I think that's like the biggest portion of my increase, because all of my utilities, like I was paying some money at home anyway, so all of my utilities kind of add up to that. My car insurance went down a little bit coming from New York to here. All of my other bills are the same, and I was buying all of my groceries because a good portion of last year I was vegan, so I was buying all of my own groceries at home. So even like my monthly grocery spending hasn't changed too much either. So yeah, I think the biggest difference is the rent, but this is all planned. I was calculating like what my take-home pay would be in Texas and like crunching numbers before I even picked an apartment. So I knew that I could still afford it, that I could still save, that I could still have money to do what I want to do. If y'all haven't seen some of my other personal finance videos, I'll link that over here and you guys can check those out. The next Instagram question: what was the best and the worst parts about moving and choosing a location? Choosing a location, I guess you mean like the apartment, not just Dallas, but I'll answer it both ways. Originally, I was between moving to Dallas or Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was like between the two for a while, and then when it became official that I would be able to move, Charlotte just seemed like too slow pace of a life for me, and I don't think it had as much things going on compared to Dallas. Of everything I was seeing, I just picked Dallas. I decided not even to go visit Charlotte. For this location, I was nervous, but this location, as in like my apartment, worked out great, and picking Dallas worked out great too. The worst part about moving, was not the moving part, because honestly I didn't come with much from New York. The worst part of the whole moving experience was just getting everything from my apartment and like furnishing it. I didn't want to be in my apartment and sitting on like a folding chair for like 6 months. Really did not want that at all. So which is why like in the last question I said like I had budgeted to be able to get everything right away, but that was also stressful trying to get everything right away, because I felt like I was constantly like on the go. So I'd say for me, like furnishing my apartment was the worst part, because it was just so much. And still like now, like there's little things that come up, like I need artwork. If y'all have like artwork ideas, let me know. I think that's the worst part for me. And the best part, I guess, just new beginnings. I would say it was the best part of this experience. So that was like the best and the worst. Next question: what are some fun things to do in this city? So fun for me might not be fun for somebody else, but I think there's definitely a lot of fun things to do. Like you could do outdoor activities. There's definitely a lot of bars in Dallas. They have like rooftop ones as well. If you love tacos and Mexican food, there's plenty of Mexican restaurants, tacos, Tex-Mex. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of nightlife. There's a lot of places to go. As far as nightlife, I'm still trying to like learn more. If you're from New York, I would describe Deep Ellum as like a Lower East Side kind of vibe, like with all the bars. Like you definitely like can bar hop and go around places in Deep Ellum. There's like lounges that I do want to check out soon, because I heard like that's where they have like Afro beats and like Caribbean music and that kind of vibe. So there's lounges like that. I found one on Instagram. I'll check that out eventually. I look on Instagram a lot and I just see a lot of things there, and like if you follow different like pages, you can find things there. People say like the Facebook groups, I still haven't looked at those, but if you're on Facebook, that's another way to find things. Just Google searches too, and you could find like things to do. Eventbrite has like things as well. I feel like I like a mixture of things. Like I like great food, I like nightlife, I like daytime, like going out and shopping. I like outdoorsy stuff as well. and I've only done like a couple things so far, but there's definitely more options of those, so I'll be getting more into that. Whatever you like, you could probably find it here. Probably. I think there's a lot of fun things to do in the city. These next two questions I'm going to kind of combine because they're kind of similar. So the first one is, I'm planning to move to Austin in the next 5 years. Why did you choose Texas? And the next question was, what made you choose Dallas compared to other areas of Texas? So to answer this question, my very first time in Texas in general was back in 2018, and I went to Houston, and that was like a solo trip, and I primarily went just for the Beyonce and Jay-Z concert. And to be honest, I didn't really like Houston back then. So that was like my experience in Houston. One of the biggest reasons for me to choose Dallas and Texas in general was for the cost of living, and it's still a major city. And I love the weather here. It's like so much warmer than New York. When I eventually did decide finally on Dallas, I think Houston was out of the question because I didn't like it when I came. Though I do want to give Houston another chance. The food scene seems better down there than over here. And I think if I went with like people and had like a turn up weekend, I think that would be fun in Houston. I had heard some good things about San Antonio over the years, so I did watch a few videos on YouTube there, and the vibe I got from San Antonio, it was like more so family oriented. Obviously there's young people everywhere, but I don't know, I just kind of got a family vibe from San Antonio. I don't even think I watched any vlogs or videos on Austin for whatever reason. Like I don't know, like I know people talk about Austin, especially there's a lot of tech companies going there, like tech people there, blah blah blah, but like I work fully remote, so I don't really need to be in a tech-based city. I also feel like 5 years is kind of like a long time from now, so things can definitely change, and especially Austin, like from what I've been hearing, like it's been getting more expensive. Texas in general, definitely keep that in mind if you're planning like a move a while from now. But yeah, Austin, to me, it didn't really seem like my vibe either. I remember one time I was watching a show and they had like a special in Austin, and that's how I saw some parts of it. But I actually do plan on visiting Austin eventually in the next like few months. I think those are the only areas I considered. For me, I needed to be in a big city. Like I wasn't moving anywhere like small town feel. I didn't want that. So I don't really think I checked out other parts. What other parts are there of Texas? El Paso, I think that's another big one. Didn't look at anything there. I have more to learn about Texas. There's a lot of people who say they live in Dallas, but they might live in like Richardson, Frisco, Fort Worth, McKinney, like in those like surrounding areas, but they still say like Dallas or like the DFW area. But for me personally, I also wanted my address to say Dallas. I know a lot of companies now are basing your salary on where you live. So for me, if I eventually one day like was to look for a new job, I didn't want to be in an area where it was like smaller and like I might not get that much in salary. That was kind of also my thinking. I'm still open to seeing other areas of Texas though. Like I want to do weekend trips and all of that. So we'll see. And the last question from Instagram was, can you see yourself in Dallas forever? Forever? Oh my gosh. Honestly, I can't even answer that now. Forever is a long time. Oh my God. Can you see yourself in Dallas forever? Forever is a long time. And to be completely honest, like I'm loving my space right now. I'm having a good experience so far, but I don't know if I'm gonna be here forever. I'm still young, no family, no kids, none of that. So I feel like I can still up and move to another place if I wanted to. If I wanted to check it out, like I feel like now is the time to do it. Before I even get to the point of like wanting to look into buying a home, I have to be like set on a place. There's just so much of this country, this world, I don't know, that I haven't seen, and I don't know yet where I want to lay my roots down. At this moment, I see myself renewing my lease again, but after, I don't know. I really do not know. So that is everything that I have. I'm sure when I go to edit, I'm gonna realize like I didn't say so many other things that I should have mentioned, but it's okay because we could do a part 2 if you guys want a part 2. If you have more questions, make sure you drop them down below, send them on Instagram, wherever. Keep asking questions, and if there's enough questions, I'll do a part 2 to this. I'll probably do another update at my 1 year mark of being in Dallas. Again, right now it's about like 4 months. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're still here towards the end, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I have some Dallas vlogs planned for the future and some other great content, so make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at my next video.